Hi there, it's me, Sandy. Thank you for coming to my channel. And today what I wanted to show you was a few, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but I'll move fast. 8 of my most neutral smelling fragrances. So, you know, it's not like a floral, it's not just a straight, amber, it's not summery, beachy, it's just neutral smelling. Some of them will be obvious, probably, and a few less obvious, but they all strike me as neutral in one way or another. So this is subjective. I don't, position myself as an expert. I'm just your friend that loves perfume too. And, there's so many amazing educational YouTube channels that I just love, but I'm just your weird aunt or your friend or your neighbor that loves perfume. So, take what I say just as my opinion. So, okay, I'm gonna start off with probably the most obvious one, and I truly love this. It's Molecula 1, you can see. I just love the smell of Isoe Super. And I will say that I've tried a few dupes. I've tried a few of the more sort of, homemade versions. I haven't made it myself, but there's just something about the actual eccentric molecules, Molecula 1, that is just perfection to me. And I haven't found a dupe personally that is just quite the same. It is clean, it's fresh, it's woody, it's sweet, it's neutral, it's just perfect, and it lasts forever on clothing. I mean, I'm talking through washings, and it lasts on skin beautifully all day. So Molecula 1, neutral, gorgeous, clean scent. All right, the next one is Glossier You. This is very neutral smelling to me too. Now this one is sweeter. This is like a papery iris is how I've heard it described and seen. And I would agree. There's like a crunchy, almost like you could picture like a thin sheer, almost like a parchment paper. Crunchy is kind of how it smells. But definitely it has the sweetness. It doesn't go too floral or too powdery or too anything. It's just, a good neutral scent. I've used it quite a bit. I don't tend to reach for this one as much anymore just because I have some other neutral things that I like more. But I still really like that one. The next one, now this is a dupe. This is the Dua version of Wood Sage and Sea Salt by Jo Malone. This is called Herbs and Sea Salt. And I bought this one specifically, oh, it's so good, specifically because I loved Wood Sage and Sea Salt, but it just didn't last on my skin long enough for me to justify the price. And this one lasts all day. It's a huge projector off of the skin, and I actually have to be careful with the sprays that I use of this so that I don't overwhelm people. But it smells the same. It's just that neutral, but it has more going on than just, I don't know how to, it's very neutral. It doesn't do anything too much, but it has more going on. It's more aromatic. You get a little of that salty element. It smells like a New England beach, not like a Caribbean beach, you know. You might even pick up a little bit of like the pine forest in the background up on the hill above the rocks with the waves crashing and all that, and driftwood, but it's lovely. So this is a version of Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Next is, and I haven't used this one much since I bought it. I've used it some, and of course I went for the huge size. I love it. I need to wear it more. This is La Musque and La Peau by Pierre Guillaume. And I sampled this one before I bought it, and I knew that I loved it. The thing that I like about this one is it's a very simple, clean musk, but it's definitely warm. It doesn't go in a cooler, sort of fresher musk experience. It's, I mean, it's fresh and clean, but warm for sure. It's unisex, and to me, if I was gonna say, now that I've lived with this and worn it more, I would say if it's gonna veer towards one gender a little more than the other, I would say it leans a little bit more towards a masculine side, but barely. So, I mean, I still absolutely consider this unisex. I feel like there's no way that you could go wrong with this because you would just smell clean. But this is very neutral smelling. It doesn't, it just kind of hits that middle of the road just perfectly. I understand that Pierre Guillaume, who was the perfumer, made his own special combination of musks for this, and you can tell it's unique. It's lovely. So that's Le Musc and Le Pot. Another dupe here. This is the dossier version of Juliet Had a Gun, Not a Perfume, which I have worn previously. This isn't an exact dupe of that, in my opinion. The Dua version of Wood Sage and Sea Salt gets really, really close to the original smell. This is farther off. This is almost just more like its own thing. It's kind of like a cross between a little bit of Molecula 1 and a little bit of Molecula 2 and Juliet Had a Gun. They just kind of all mixed together, but it's really nice. I tend to reach for this on the same mood or day that I would reach for Molecula 1, just kind of like whichever one I reach for. But this one has a little bit more of that ambroxany, salty skin quality to it, whereas ISOE Super does not have that. I love that it has a magnetic cap too, but I really do like this one. I mean, obviously I've put a decent little dent in it. The next neutral scent is CK2. I've talked about this one recently. This one, again, yes, it's neutral, but oh wow, it's definitely got its own thing going on. I think this may be the most unique out of all of these that I'm showing you to my nose. This one definitely smells like a beach, so it's gonna give really similar vibes, although they smell nothing alike, to Wood Sage and Sea Salt though. But this smells like ocean waves on not sand so much as like one of those beaches where it's more like pebbles rolling in the tide. I kind of get that. Definitely pick up that salty air and that mineralic quality. So this is a very neutral, rainy, almost petrichor-y, mineral, salty scent. It's really lovely and it's very fresh smelling. Calvin Klein. The next one is, I only have a mini, but it's Eros Parfum, and it's the Eau de Parfum. Now, the Eau de Toilette is sweeter. This one has almost no sweetness in it. It's just like a hint of lemony musk, and it's quite neutral. It, again, if you're gonna put this on, you're not going to choke the room out with, you know, a strong floral or anything, too much of anything. It doesn't have a harshness to it at all. It's just a soft, yeah, like a lemony musk type of, the musk is along the lines of like molecules. So some of the molecules, Molecule 1, Molecule 2, ambroxan, ISOE Super, lemony quality, some freshness, and I know that there are some florals in here, but it doesn't seem floral to me. But that's a nice one for something different that's not sweet. And the last one I saved just because it's my favorite. I'm wearing it today, and again, I also only have a decant that's now getting smudged, but this is Gris Dior, and I love this so much. I did a comparison video between Gris Dior and Pearls Lalique, which still, I agree, very, very similar. This is brighter. a little bit more effusive or projection-y. It's a little rosier and it's a little more camphorous, but they're very similar, but different enough. This one I wouldn't quite call a neutral scent. This one, to me, is a neutral scent. I feel, again, like it just does it right. It just gets right in there and just is just the right amount of everything. It's like a Goldilocks, testing out the beds, you know. It's not Papa Bear's bed or Baby Bear's bed. It's Mama Bear's bed that's just right. Did I screw that story up? I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's just right. It's a rose patchouli that is an extremely clean, light, transparent patchouli. It is beautiful. When I wear this, I love the way I smell all day. Like, I just catch wafts of it. I think it's one of those perfumes that is better on a waft than on a sniff, if you know what I mean. It's, you're gonna get just the most glorious scent all day long as you catch, sort of as you're moving around and you catch the little whiffs of air. I think it's prettiest that way as opposed to sniffing your skin. It's a little, I mean, it's still really nice, but it just is magic the other way, you know, how some fragrances are. But anyway, those are my most neutral scents. If you know of other really, truly, just kind of, you know how I've described it, neutral scents, I would love to hear some more opinions and ideas and thoughts. And that's it. That's what I had for you. And I hope you have a really good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.